So welcome back to the channel. I did a poll probably about 2 weeks ago. I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but I had asked you guys' opinion on some tires. Now, I am tire shopping right now, and I'm going to get tires for the truck because we are officially going to go full-time RV. Like, we're actually going to be traveling. We're not going to be stationary. In the past, we used to take trips here and there for a short stint, but this time, we're not probably coming back to Maryland. So with that being said, I need to get new tires. The tires I have now, they probably have 15 to 20,000 miles left on them, but I want new tires, especially if we're going to be towing in places I don't know or have never been before. So I want the best tread I can have. And I'm going up a little bit. I'm going to a true 35-inch tire. So it's going to be 295, 65. 20-inch wheel, and I'm really excited. I am going to be doing some more stuff to the truck, so stay tuned for that. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm going to show you guys the poll and what you guys rated the best tire or the one I should get, and I'm gonna go through some of your comments too that you guys wrote too. So let's get into it.
As I mentioned, I did a poll basically almost 2 weeks ago. 1,000 of you guys voted. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And basically, I was saying I was going from a 295/60 to a 295/65. So that's going to be a 35-inch tire. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on these areas here. And this is how you guys voted. Toyo Open Countries overwhelmingly won this thing. I mean, it was crazy how many people voted for that tire. Second was Nitto Ridge Grappler. I was expecting Nitto and Toyo to be like neck and neck. Cooper held on to third place and wasn't too far behind that Nitto. And I think this is a up and coming tire. I see a lot of advertisements for them, and when you guys see the tire, it's really aggressive. Now, fourth place went to Yokohama, which I was very surprised by. I definitely was not expecting Hankook to really win anything in the first and second and third spot. Hankook does make good tires, don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to it, I was expecting it to be between these two, and Toyo took it by a long shot. So let's go ahead and take a look at each tire really quickly. So here's the Open Country. This is the tire that won first place, and by all means, I will say this is a good tire. I see these tires on Ford HDs, half tons. I see it on Wranglers. A lot of people use this tire. It's really aggressive, has a great look, and the tread just looks amazing. And overall, it has a good warranty too. Now, I will say this. These are probably going to be the more expensive ones. Now, the next tire is the Cooper Discoverers. I really like the overall design. I think this is probably the most aggressive tire that I have selected here out of all the tires you're going to see. Looks great. Love the tread. And they have the tire size that I want, 295/65. Now, the Geolanders, unfortunately, I can't zoom in. I tried to, take a screenshot, but it didn't look as nice. But this is a really nice tire. I think that I will not sleep on this one if I do find a good deal on them. So overall, good looking tire. I would like to maybe have a chance to drive with these tires to see how well they do on road. But a few of you guys did say something about these tires in the comment section, which we're going to read here soon. The next one, again, I wasn't expecting much from the Hankooks. These are not the most aggressive tires here. They're probably the least most aggressive tires. They look okay. I think that if I were really looking for a tire to buy, this would probably be low on my list. I'll be completely honest right now with you guys. Definitely not a bad option, but it's just the least most aggressive tire, and I really want that aggressive look. So last but not least, here's the tire that I own now. I think that the Nitto Ridge Grappler is a great tire. I think Nitto makes good tires overall. I've had their Terra Grappler G2s in the past, and those were awesome tires. And overall, like I said, this tire has been great for me now. I have it in a 295/60. So if I decide, I'll use this tire again, but I definitely want to see what else is out there before I make that decision. Alright, so here's the geek in me. I made a spreadsheet for the tires. This was most of the information that was important to me. I wanted to make sure, obviously, my wheel would fit the tire, or how they recommend the size is. In terms of the size, my wheel's a 20/8. So I am a little bit outside of some of their recommendations for the approved wheel size, but it will work fine on this truck. But one thing I want you to really take note of is the weight of each tire. As you can see, Hankook has the most heaviest tires of the bunch, and Nitto is the second heaviest, Yokohama. But look at Toyo, they came in at 63 pounds. I would definitely be eyeing this tire because that's a huge deal, because hey, that's weight savings for you. That's, it's 6 pounds if you're looking at the Nitto. So those tires are almost, identical in the way they look. But if you can save 24 pounds off your truck, off the curb weight, that's a good thing. Because this is a larger tire than my 295/60, you do increase your load capacity, which is good. So I went from 3,700 pounds to 4,080, or I will be going to 4,080 pounds with most of these tires, with the exception of the Hankook. They're just a little bit further off, 80 psi's. And this is what you want if you're definitely looking at towing a trailer like my size. So these are load range E, 10 ply. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but these are going to be 35-inch tires basically. That's what their size is. Now, one last thing I want to show you before we move on is the price. So these are the prices per tire. And the cheapest tire here, which is no surprise, is the Hankook Dynapros. These are a pretty good tire overall. I will say I've seen these, and I've actually driven trucks that had them from the factory, and they're a decent one. And as I'm not surprised, the Nittos are actually the most expensive tire. And I don't know if these prices had shipping or not, so that's something you may have to figure out too, because sometimes, because these tires are so heavy, there might be a freight charge for them. So I did not configure that, and I got these prices off of various websites too. So let's go ahead and take a look at your comments. Alrighty, so up first, Boston Harbor Water. I love the Nitto Ridge Grappler. Was surprised how well they ride for their design. I'll definitely buy them again. I agree. I have the tires. I don't have a problem going back to that tire. So thanks for sharing that. Sinoia 72. With fuel prices the way they are, I'd consider going back to a stock size. I do agree with you there. I don't think that having an off-road or a mud tire is going to really affect my financial situation as much. If I lose 1 or 2 miles to the gallon, I'm okay with that. Here's one of my bigger supporters here, supporter of sanity. He said the same thing. Tires really affect fuel mileage, and I agree with that too. That is definitely something to consider. So thank you guys for sharing. Austin Mead, consider the Toyo RTs. Tread life is great. Road noise is very minimal. Performance very good in all conditions, with the exception of standing water on the road. That is a really good comment. I like that, because one thing I didn't like about the Nittos was when it was wet and I was towing my fifth wheel, it would get really squirrely on wet roads, especially when I was accelerating. If I got off the interstate and made a turn and I was accelerating, my truck would fishtail almost, because I don't know, the tires just didn't have enough grip. So that is something to consider, so thanks for that. John Hoffman, I have loved my BFG KO2s. I'm on the road a lot with regular rotations. I'm getting 70k, low road noise, handles all weather really well. Thank you, John, for mentioning that. I did actually pull, I don't think I showed this to you guys, but I did pull a BF Goodrich tire. I don't want a white lettered tire, only because I don't think it would look good on my truck. But this is definitely a really good tire. I have nothing against these tires, and they definitely do have a great look to them too. So again, thanks, John, for that. Andrew Schwartzstein, Geolander ATs. Oh, there you go. Yokohama are probably the best tires I've ever purchased. That's good to know, and thanks for sharing that too. So Nick, the Nitto Recon Grappler is a great all-around tire. You still get the aggressive look, but they are a little bit better behaved on road and in slick conditions. I'm very happy with mine after about 5,000 miles. So I did see these tires. I believe these are a newer design. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I actually wanted something a little bit more aggressive. These reminded me of the Terra Grappler tires, which again, they're both pretty aggressive, but for what I was looking for, I definitely wanted something like the Ridge Grappler. But I did see these tires, and I appreciate you bringing those up. Sierra Golf, the Cooper. So not sure if you have considered the AT3s. Incredible tires with much better wear than BF. Low road noise, 10 ply sidewall for trailering. The best tires I have ever owned. I run them on 3500s and 1500s, and even on a Ford passenger van. That's good stuff. Thanks for sharing that, Sierra Golf. And here's some other comments here. This special shout out to you guys for commenting back to Sierra Golf. I really like when you guys do that too. Sometimes it's been really hectic trying to get through all the comments. Like I'm getting like almost 100 a day now. It's actually a little bit higher than that. So again, I appreciate you guys responding too. Thank you. Now here's another long-time subscriber, DGI Turbo. So get the Cooper. So here, there's two Coopers back to back. This might be my next tire. So Discover AT3 XLTs. And DGI Turbo says the hard part is finding someone who has the special tools needed to clamp these ram wheels on a road force balancer, and who is also willing to spend the time to get the road force down under 10. You know what? I will say that this comment almost needs to be pinned. Not every tire shop is created equal. Like I go to Costco sometimes, like if I buy tires for my wife's car, Costco won't touch 35-inch tires. They will not touch them. And this is a really good comment because I actually had a bad experience of someone balancing my tires because they didn't know what they were doing. So I'm glad that you said this, because the place I'm going to has a road force balancer, and so they're going to have that for me to be able to make sure these get done correctly. And Eric Pickle, he seconded your comment, so again, thank you guys for that. DCC, get Goodyear Ultra Terrain by American. Amen. I hear that. So let's see here. Not available in specified size. Toyo is American made as well. Thanks, Rob. I agree with that. I do like to support American companies. You know, that's something that is definitely important to me. So I appreciate that. H Cubed, I swear by the BFGs. There's another one. They aren't noisy, great in mud and snow, and don't wear out prematurely. I have hit over 75,000 miles with a set before, and it still had plenty of tread left. Yeah, it seems to be that BF Goodrich tires are still like a big one. And someone said, Black Dog says, I've had 3 different tread separations on different BFGs. So there's a negative comment actually. So again, thank you guys for that. Matt S, Duratrack has been my pick. E-load tows my 34-foot travel trailer well, and traction in all weather, and especially snow is fantastic. So yeah, good stuff. So Duratracks, hey, that's what is that? I'm not sure who makes Duratrack actually, but yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know off the top of my head, but I appreciate you posting that. So Jose said, I have a 2017 Ram 2500. You're on your second set of 295 65 20s. Got 60,000 miles off the first, and that's with 20,000 miles towing. Oh yeah, this is good. A fifth wheel, 16,000 pound fifth wheel. Quiet for the whole time. That's something else to consider, guys, too, is sometimes over time these tires get loud, and my Nittos have not gotten that much louder. They've gotten a little bit louder, but that's just because I'm running out of tread. Would have lasted longer if he had balanced the tires, and since you are towing a lot too, that's going to also affect it too, and didn't set air pressure accordingly. So that's something to consider too. It looks like you're running a aftermarket wheel, so 20/9 with a plus 18 offset. Now, something that Jose mentions, which is really important, is when you do tow, when you have a diesel, these trucks are heavier, and when you're towing, it does wear out the tires a little bit quicker. So that's just something to keep in mind. So thank you so much for sharing, Jose. Next up, Jason Works, 2018 Ram 3500 Longhorn 6.7 Cummins, running the Falcon Wild Peaks. Has a load range E, are very quiet, good grip in heavy snow, and haven't negatively impacted fuel economy. So Matt B responded, I have the same truck and setup and very happy with that tire. So 2 people for the Falcon Wild Peaks. I should add that we pull a 35-foot Cougar, nice, at 11,600 pounds. Good stuff. Thank you guys for sharing that. Now look at this, Rub and Tug. So you've been around on my channel for a while now. Would you consider Falcon Wild Peaks? Look at that. That's funny. I run them on my 3500 dually. He has a mega dually, by the way, and have driven them through a couple of snowstorms here in Colorado since I got my setup. I think they're better than my outgoing Toyo Open Country AT3s, but I am currently running on 37s, so the road noise and smoothness may be different on stock diameter and tire pressures. I'm aired down to 25 in the rears and 45 in the front, so my ride is butter. That's awesome. So yeah, he has a mega dually. He's out in Colorado. He actually does some barbecue. I may have to head out that way at some point and give you a shout out, man, and show your restaurant there if you live out that way. I'll put it here for you. How about that? I'll put it right here. So thanks again, brother, for posting that. Up next is Held the Flashlight for Dad. I've been running Toyo Open Country RTs for 2 sets of tires. They look good, wear good, and have zero road noise. They're pricey, but worth it. Good stuff. I have heard about the RTs too. I may have to do some research on this one, so thanks for posting that. We got another BFG Gear Junkie 340. Best tires I've ever owned. Great traction in any weather. Great in snow. Lasts a very long time. Quiet too. So a lot of people have had nothing but good things to say. I think there was only one negative comment. Thanks for sharing that, Gear Junkie. So up next, Auto Games Nation Kenda Cleaver RT is all I'll run personally. So I've never heard of this tire, so I'll have to do some research there. So thanks for putting that on the list. Tyler said it's not on your list, but the Terra Grapplers are my favorite tire, bar none. I have consistently gotten over 80,000 miles out of the G2s and was able to stretch the original ATs to 92 before safety was a concern. The G2 weather performance is not as consistent as the first AT once the tire hits higher mileage, but it's by no means terrible. So I did run these tires. I bought my wife back, probably, it's been a while now, bought her a Toyota Land Cruiser, and I did run Nitto Terra Grappler G2s on there, and they were actually a good tire. Just enough aggressiveness to them, and they were pretty quiet, and they were good in pretty much every season. So thanks for sharing that, Tyler. So we have JF, the Cooper STTs, another Cooper, are amazing tires, especially soft or off-road terrain. On road, they are very good tires as well for what they are. However, with your towing your camper around, they will not last long as they are softer, more off-road oriented tires. But you cannot blame Cooper for that because they are a mud tire. I would stick with the Ridge Grapplers. They're a good all-around tire. Thanks, JF, and like I said, I appreciate you sharing that. CNE Tate, you've been around my channel for a while too, actually. I have the Toyo AT3, and they feel great while towing. Look good, and according to Toyo's website, they are lighter than most ATs in the same size. Great for off-road, great in the snow, 3-peak rated, super quiet, and best of all, they are wearing like steel. I got around 14,000 miles and they still look new. Best tires I've ever owned. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, CNT, and thanks for supporting the channel. Another Cooper discoverer, George F. Darren Manning, BFGs, there you go. I'm going to kind of go through these pretty quickly here. All in all, like I said, it seems like BFG is one I have to put on my list. Jonathan McMillan, Falcon Wild Peaks, Grady L. Evans, Michelin Defender. These are actually a good tire too. My father-in-law owned a Ford F350 and he ran the Michelins. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Michelin. So EH, I'm in Maryland. I just switched from Ridge Grapplers to Recon Grappler. So another Recon Grappler. I was going to go back to the Ridge Grappler or the AT3s. My Ridge Grapplers started to wear uneven. Once they get to that level before the wear bars, the tread is so soft the gravel was shredding the tire. You might be right about this. I think that I have noticed a little bit of like wear on the tire, like pits inside the tire. That might be something to consider too. So Eric Ortiz, RBP Repulsor mud tires, and CWC Z71, Goodyear Wranglers. Oh yeah, the Goodyear Wranglers are good tires. They have LT. They're a little bit louder than I would like to, but just something to consider. I appreciate that. Hell Kitty 101. Here's another long-time subscriber. I do remember names when I see people comment a lot, so that's something I apologize if you have been here a long time. I just know these names and I know their thumbnails too. But the Ridge Grapplers and Toyos are likely the best in this group. I currently have Ridge Grapplers on my 3500. They're great for traction and noise control. I put about 27,000 miles on them and it looks like there is 85% of tread left. I'm religious with rotations, oil changes, and other maintenance items. I run the Toyos on my 05 2500 5.9. And they're just as good and little less expensive. Good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that, man. Thanks for supporting the channel. Jacob King, Falcon, ATW3s. Travis H. I ran the Nittos and Coopers and Toyos. So he has some good information here. So be sure to pause it. Thanks for sharing that. Jeff Bros. I think you've been around my channel for a while too, actually. No KO2s. Love those tires. Mostly because of how good they are in the snow. Good stuff. Derek Andrews, he's been around my channel for a while too. Bridgestone Dueler, good. That's actually a good tire too. I haven't really thought about those two, but that's another good one. Not as aggressive as I would like them, but good tire. And then Dad Cooks Food, Toyos. I run the ATs on everything from Ram trucks, 4Runners, and they are great. Thanks. Up next, Grant Mitchell, Toyo AT3s. Nice. And then looks like he had the Nitto Terra grapplers on the 1500 and got like 80,000 miles. Good stuff. Jason Lavelle, Yokohama and Cougar on Jeeps. That's good. Okay. So yeah, I can keep going and keep reading, but like I said, I'm starting to wear down here. So I'm gonna let you guys just see your names. And like I said, I'm actually down to the next day, so we'll kind of end it off here. So, you know, again, thank you guys so much. You know, everyone that did get out early and write a comment, I really appreciate it. But be sure to subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get tires. I actually already have ordered the tires since it's been 2 weeks, and we should be getting some footage of the tires getting installed, all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching.